Hello, welcome. I am Exit Light, and this is my channel. Today is another in my series of paranormal and supernatural news from around the world. And this is an article that recently came out about an occurrence that happened in 2016. This article was in the New York Post and also in the News Tribune in Tacoma. And it is about whether or not ghosts are haunting Ted Bundy's childhood home. Or could it be Ted Bundy? If this is your first time here, please click that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Please click that like button. What I do when I watch videos on people's pages, I automatically click the like button before I even start watching the video. And then if I change my mind, I just unclick it. And then, if you would like to be subscribed of my new content the second it's uploaded, please click that bell. If you are not new here and you've been coming back, thank you so much. It's because of you guys that my channel is being built, because you're sharing my channel, because you're talking about it, and because you like it, and I appreciate that. I will be having a contest coming up, giving away a new Amazon gift card, and one of the requirements is to be subscribed. So if you want to get a jump on that, please do. It's all free. So I'm going to read the article, and as always with this type of segment, I am not going to edit it. And there is a 100% chance that I will make a mistake. Please forgive me. My bad. And then at the end of the article, I'll make some comments of my own. I'll ask you some questions. And then we can all have a conversation below. And you can give me your thoughts, your opinions. And that will be fun. So, all right. Is Ted Bundy's house being haunted? Possibly by Ted Bundy? A contractor hired to remodel the childhood home of serial killer Ted Bundy claims to have encountered ghosts inside the Washington state residence, which had the skeptic scrawling Bible verses on walls and calling pastors. "I'm not one to believe in a lot of this stuff, but this house made me a believer," Casey Clopton told the News Tribune in Tacoma. He had been hired to work on the 4-bedroom home in October of 2016 and said he started noticing eerie things going on there soon after. "Periodically, throughout the course of the job, we had weird things keep happening," Clopton said, claiming that cell phones and other electronic devices would occasionally get unplugged or immediately die without explanation. On at least 2 occasions, the words "leave" and "help me" were found written inside the house in sheetrock dust on a bedroom floor and on a basement window. Dressers were known to inexplicably fall over, and drawers sometimes opened on their own, despite the doors to the house being locked and nobody being inside. "It was really eerie but really neat," real estate broker James Pitts III remembered. Things apparently got so bad that Clopton penciled Bible verses on the walls and called in 2 pastors to bless the house. The pair reportedly went from room to room, reading scripture and saying blessings. "Everything in that house fought us, and it was kind of weird about it," Clopton said, "but I go to church and I have God with me." The frightened contractor told the Tribune that he knew something was up with the house when he took his 11-year-old daughter to check it out, like he does with all the homes he works on, and she freaked. "My daughter started crying," Clopton recalled. "She said she felt weird. She didn't like it in there." When he returned the next week with the demolition crew, Clopton said that a worker made a similar statement about the home and claimed that it just didn't feel right. At the time, no one had any idea that Bundy, a notorious serial killer who was linked to at least 36 murders in the 70s, had lived there, with some fearing that he may have committed many more murders. The madman moved into the home with his mother, stepfather, and 4 siblings in 1955 when he was just 9 years old. It wasn't until Clopton started chatting up the neighbors about the strange occurrences that he and Pitts found out about the home's infamous resident and called for backup. We made sure to keep quiet initially because we weren't sure how people would react to knowing a serial killer had lived there, Pitts said. While there is no evidence that Bundy actually committed any crimes in the house, he stated in interviews before his execution that his murderous streak stemmed from an obsession with pornography as a teen. According to the Tribune, some believe that Bundy took his first human life when he was 14, though he later denied the allegations in a letter to the girl's mother. Clopton wound up completing his redoing of his childhood home by giving it a fresh coat of paint, a bright yellow front door, and new floors and ceilings. The home was eventually sold for $335,000 to an anonymous buyer. It's unclear if they were aware of its history. So here are my comments on this. As I've said before in several videos, this is another story that makes me wonder if it's possible that it's the house that has the evil in it, and can a home, a building, a property, an object cause somebody to become evil, to enter them or have an influence on them. Like this story says, this 11-year-old girl went into the house and felt immediately that there was something wrong. Could that have been something that influenced Ted Bundy? Could a 9-year-old child walk into a house perfectly normal, not being born a serial killer? I would think. I guess that's a question for another story. But in reality, a 9-year-old child walks into a house, and could they have that feeling, and then because they're living there and they're a child, be open and susceptible to something in the house? Now, I don't think that Ted Bundy is going to haunt his childhood home. That doesn't make sense to me. He went on to be an adult and lived other places. So I don't know why he would do that. But according to these people, there is something going on in the house. In which case, I tend to go with, it seems that something would have been going on in the house when Ted Bundy moved there. So again, this is another example in my ponderings as to, can an environment influence somebody to do evil things, to become the embodiment of evil? Could they be possessed by something that was in this house? And why? Why could a house be evil? Could something have happened on that land, hundreds of years ago that we have no idea about, or they didn't dig far enough into the history of this house to even know if something had occurred in the house before Ted Bundy lived there? So, what do you think? Ted Bundy goes back to his childhood home and haunts it? My guess, by the way, is that remodeling it isn't going to do much about that. If you're haunted, you're haunted. I'm guessing. And do you think this is possibly more evidence that a building, a place, a thing can influence a person? In this case, a small child. So, tell me what you think. Let's have a conversation below. Also, don't forget, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Click that like button if you haven't already. Click that bell so you can be notified the second I have new content. And thank you so much for coming. Please tell your family, tell your friends, people who like scary stories. I write and narrate my own scary, creepy stories. So if you like that content, stick around because I have a lot of that. Look through my playlists, listen to some of my stories. I hope you'll like them. And if you know other people that want content about unsolved murder mysteries, I do those too. And thank you very much for coming. Oh, and to add one more thing. If you like creepy paranormal stuff, and I'm assuming you do, if you head on over to Facebook and go to Paranormal and Supernatural World and become a member there, Robert Malcolm Burns runs that page. All day long he posts interesting and new paranormal and supernatural content to start conversations. I engage in conversations over there. I comment a lot. Sometimes I post things over there. All my stories are posted over there. I think you'll like it. And if you do head over there, please tell him that Exit Light sent you there. I will post the link to that website on Facebook down below. Thank you very much.